Hello, Kimberly here again with Knit for Brains, and I have a question for you. I want to know what you do when you're crocheting or you're knitting. Do you just crochet and knit? Do you watch movies? Do you listen to books on tape? Do you read? Do you listen to music? What do you do? And where do you do your crochet or your knitting? Do you take it in cars and planes? Are you one of those people that everywhere you go, you've got like crochet hooks in your car? I have a girlfriend and she knits a lot. She does both. She has knitting needles coming out of her hair all the time. So I'm working on a project. This is a little bit of a, this is one of my guilty pleasure yarns that I found at my local yarn store. And this is called Ella Ray Marmel. Okay, and I just loved these colors. I loved them together. This is called Ocean Jasper, and this one is called Precious Opal. So I loved the two of them together, and when I saw these in the store, I thought, man, they would be so beautiful in the moss stitch, the crochet moss stitch. And I've always wanted to try it. It's a really simple type of a stitch, but it really looks woven. It doesn't look crochet. And I thought with these yarns, because it's got a little bit of like a little bit of an unusual, uneven kind of a texture, a real natural texture, I thought this would look really, really pretty. So these skeins were a little bit more than I usually spend. It wasn't terrible. They were $18 a skein, $17.99. But I'm making this for myself. So I am doing this is the moss stitch, and I'm just doing 300 stitches across, as you can see here. And so what I'm doing is I'm just alternating. So I'm going back and forth across. And so as you can see, there's just some really nice structure to the yarn, to this color. And it's kind of got that woven look to it that I was hoping to get. So this moss stitch is really, really easy. It's just chain one, and then you skip a stitch, and then you single crochet. And so basically, if you look closely, you're going into like every other stitch. So it alternates like every other stitch, but it gives us this really nice kind of a woven look. So I'm just gonna make this, and then I'm gonna add some tassels, some fringe on the bottom. But I just wanted to see, like, what do you do when you're crocheting? I am one of those people that if I'm going to be in the car any longer than half hour, I've got something. I'm crocheting or doing something. I bring it on every road trip that I go on, doctor's office. I have even been known to crochet and knit in the movies. I love watching TV and crocheting. My husband doesn't understand it, but I can watch TV. I tell him it helps me to focus more. I can actually calm my mind and really pay attention to what's going on, unless it's a real complicated pattern. Something like this is not a complicated pattern. It's very simple. I can actually sit and watch TV and not actually look at what I'm doing for the most part. So, but I found that when I crochet and or I knit, that I don't really I'm not reading as much. And so I started with the Audible book on tape, but there's also an app that you can get that connects to your local library, or I think to a worldwide library. And you can reserve books online on Audible books. So for me, I am either watching TV while I'm crocheting or I'm knitting, or I'm on a road trip, or I'm also doing like Audible, listening to books on tape, things like that. So I want to know from you, comment below if you listen to books when you're crocheting, if you watch TV, if you listen to music, if you take it on road trips. I want ideas of things or are you just a purist? Do you just sit there for hours and hours on end and just sit in the silence and enjoy crocheting and knitting? So I'm just curious what you do while you're crocheting or you're knitting or you're doing your fiber project. So please comment below, because this is interactive. I want to hear from you what you do when you're crocheting and knitting. And maybe we'll even do like a book review, an Audible book review, or a movie. But comment like what you like to watch, and maybe we'll get some ideas. All right. Thanks so much for watching again. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains. Just interacting. What do you do when you crochet and knit?